Hi, it's Rich Tehrani, president of TMC. I'm here at the Voice Peering Forum Summer 2008 in San Francisco, and I've been conducting video interviews throughout the day, and we've got someone who I'm sure you're going to be very interested in hearing from. His name is Peter Pattullo, who's the president and CEO of NetworkIP. How are you, Peter?
Good.
Good to see you.
See you, Rich.
Thanks for being on my program here.
Okay.
And don't mind the studio audience.
Okay.
If you could, let us know a little bit about your company and tell us about your doing.
NetworkIP was a company we created 10 years ago. We really in the beginning were looking to create the next generation model of how telecom networks should be built. If you look at the legacy systems that the big tier 1 carriers had done, they had really put themselves in a spot where they really couldn't move. They were stuck in all the old ways of doing things where it takes years to develop new features and so forth. So we really developed the model and really developed the architecture to really step that up, to go down the next model. Through the years, we were able to continue that vision and evolve our system. We picked some early applications that allowed us create a lot of scale or a lot of volume for us to really prove our systems. So by around 2001, we started to push APIs to even our own internal developers. And really by 2003 started to stuff out to our customers. So it became very natural for us by 2007 to really start externalizing that out to the rest of the marketplace. And we decided to do that through a vehicle we call Jaduka.
Now, you'd mentioned in a session earlier today that your company has been open for a long time, one of the first companies to be open. Is that what you mean, having the APIs early on?
Yes. From the very beginning, we saw that that's where the world was going. In fact, we look around today with all these other guys that have shown up here with the same kind of capabilities, and you're like, where have they been? I mean, in fact, if anything, we've had them longer than there's been a market. So if we'd have launched this back 5 years ago, everybody's like, what's that? So I think really the timing in the market, these other people that are starting to get into this space and offer the same kind of service really kind of validates that, and we're starting to see an industry evolve.
And why do you think the market is ready now?
The internet has finally sensitized people that, just like the Model T, you start with something and you evolve it into, I use the Model T example, into the high-end cars we have today. Well, the internet's done the same thing, and so in the early days it's hard for people to envision that far out, but now that it's starting to go interactive, starting to go Web 2.0, it's really now the right time for web developers to add voice, and you need an open architecture really to do that.
And so that's where you come in.
That's where we come in.
That's fantastic. So now, in terms of a developer program, can you detail some of that in terms of just how much activity there is?
Well, I think from our perspective, it's still going to be a bit for every web developer on every couch out there to jump in and start adding voice to some app. So we've really taken the approach to go after the large enterprises today that really have problems to solve. And as we call it back in our office, find a problem and solve it. Really find real pain and solve it. So we've really gone down an approach. Let's find the bigger companies who have real pain, and let's go work with those developers, show them their pain. We really can even quantify their pain and then help them, show them how they go solve that.
So can you give an example of what this pain is?
Let me give you an example from the perspective of a large, like an office supply company. Okay. That has trucks rolling all over the country delivering stuff to office supply stores. Today, that company spends like $10 million in wasted truck rolls. Truck goes to the store, there's nobody there. So using Jaduka technology, they can go in and have a system automated in their website that's already tracking the truck, and before they go to that next location, it can literally place a phone call to that business, automated, and verify someone's going to be there to receive the package. And make sure that before that truck rolls, someone's going to be at that location when they stop. So those are examples of a CEPB or communication-enabled business process that these type of mashups or these type of APIs can use to solve.
And would you consider this a mashup then? A voice mashup?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's really probably the core of the opportunities at this point, is some type of mashup with the web, some interactive method to help improve communication.
It's very interesting. So that's a very good example. So in that case, we're dealing with trucking, we're dealing with with probably one end of the transaction, maybe they don't have any other way for instant communicate or to have an instant communication, so the phone works very well. So what are some other applications that are like that?
Well, I think it could be a pizza delivery company that's delivering pizza that literally is calling you, the consumer, when the pizza delivery guy leaves the store, it's calling you and letting you know that John is your delivery guy and he just left the store and he'll be there in X minutes, and you need to have $19.95 ready when you get there. So it's things to help the communication of that transaction or that particular business process going forward.
And how comfortable do I need to be with programming languages to be able to use your APIs?
Well, it's interesting. I want to back up for a second, because one of the biggest barriers to this that we see out there is that most companies today, or most, especially larger companies, have this perception that if they're going to add voice somehow to solve a business process, it's going to get expensive. They have to buy equipment, they got to buy hardware, they got to have rooms, put racks of equipment, or it's an expensive type of solution that they're going to have to put in. And the thing with Jaduka is we've enabled that all the way up to a simple web application that's really, we call it a SOAP type protocol that allows any web developer, just like they would add Google Maps, they can now add voice. So really a web developer that has just good solid programming skills for web applications can do this.
So what can we expect from your company going forward?
Continue to take a run at this industry and make some progress in it. And we see deals popping all the time for us, and we think it's a wide open field. And I'm not at this point, even from a competitor perspective, the more the merrier, because it just gets the businesses conditioned that there are other solutions than what they may perceive.
And if you have one final thought to leave potential programmers and customers?
Well, I think the reason you picked Jaduka today over every other solution out there is if you're out there solving a major business process, you got to make sure it's behind a solution that's proven. That's behind a system that's been proven to scale, that has 5 nines of reliability. You can't go out there and have a critical thing that, let's say, a truck roll or whatever, and have a system down and people are paralyzed. So I think from a programmer perspective, if you're going to go down this path, make sure, especially larger operations or larger companies, you better find a solution that has some experience doing this. And that's what we believe Jaduka leads the field.
Thanks. So what's your web address for people that want more information?
www.jaduka.com, and it's JADUKA.com.
Perfect. And my name is Rich Tehrani, and if you have any more questions about me, please visit TMCnet.com or Tehrani.com. And again, we are here at the Voice Peering Forum Summer 2008. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.